Hi, my name is Saim from Empower Education Consultants, and welcome back to a weekly episode of Empowered Abroad. In this segment, we discover international students who are about to go or currently abroad and learn about their journey for their international studies. So today we have Vareesha. Vareesha, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Vareesha, can you introduce yourself? What program are you going to study? And when did you enroll in Empower Education?
Okay, so I enrolled, I think, around end November.
Okay.
And I'm going to study the foundation diploma in UAL.
Okay. So how did you come across Empower? What was your initial contact with Empower?
So my brother actually told me about Empower because
Okay.
a lot of his friends got their,
Applications
admissions,
done.
from Empower.
Yeah.
So that's how I found out.
Okay. And when did you enroll with us? Last year?
Yeah, last year. I
Okay.
think the end, like before December, right before December.
Okay. So you're going to University of Arts London, which is famously known for its arts program.
Yes.
Before you applied over here, what were you doing? Where did you go for your O-level, A-level? Can you elaborate
So
on that?
O-level, I did in Bayview Academy. So
Okay.
I've been in Bayview since nursery.
Okay.
So I did that there, and then for A-levels, I went to Lyceum.
Okay.
So I did A-levels in
Yeah.
Lyceum, and then I took a gap year.
Okay.
So I actually applied to UAL after my A-levels, so in 2023.
Okay.
And I got rejected from UAL
Oh.
in, I think, on April 25th.
Oh.
And then the whole gap, like I took a gap year. My plan wasn't to take a gap year, but when I got rejected, I was like really sad and stuff. And I wanted to do art. Like I knew that I don't want to do any other degree.
yeah.
Even though I applied for psychology through UCAS last year, and I got in a few like colleges in London, but I really wanted to do art. So then I took a gap year. I focused on my art portfolio. I did a lot of like community work, and then I applied again, and then I got in.
So we're going to come towards your community work and the gap year you took and the stuff you did to improve yourself and your CV during that time. But I want to go back a bit towards your O-level, A-level time, right? In O-level, you said you went to Bayview Academy.
Yes.
It's quite funny because I went to Bayview High and I was in Bayview High since I was a kid, also pre-nursery.
Okay.
After that, I went to Bayview College. So, I mean, everyone over here, most people listening are aware that Bayview Academy is, of course, a great place to be.
Yeah.
What grades did you have in Bayview Academy in your O-levels, and did you do any sort of community service or extracurriculars, and did that help in your application?
So in Bayview, in my CIs, O1 and O2, I got all A's. I got a B in math and
Okay.
a B in art.
Okay.
Everything else was A.
Okay.
And I did a lot of community work. That time, I was going to an organization called Ujala, which is
Okay.
for specially able children.
Okay.
So I interned there for quite a few years.
Okay.
So now I'm a supervisor there.
Oh,
so I
wow.
supervise interns there.
Okay.
And other than that, I didn't do anything that was related to art. Like I didn't ever go to a summer camp for art.
Yeah.
I just did it myself, like at home.
Okay, okay.
And other than that, like community work that I did around like this time of the year, like when I was on a gap year, I went to Indus Hospital. I interned there with kids who have cancer. I demonstrated like art workshops there. Then we also set up like an art exhibition over there. And I also went to like orphanages around Karachi. So I did art stuff there as well.
I mean, I'm going to come towards your A-level grades and the academic side of it, but we usually always talk about the academic side. You have a lot when it comes to the extracurriculars and social service
Yeah.
side of things. Is that important when you applied and then you got accepted eventually to UL? Did that play a part in your application, and how
The
much?
academic side?
No, the non-academic side, the social work and the extracurriculars.
I think it's far more important in US, like the community work that you
for
do.
sure.
I mean, UK also looks at it,
Yeah.
but I think I personally never did it for the certificate.
Yeah.
Like even in Indus, like they asked me, do you want a certificate? And I said no, like I'm not doing. A lot of people do it actually just so they
For
can put
certificate,
it
yeah.
in their apps, but I didn't do it. I don't know if it has helped in my application, but I just know that I really enjoyed like doing all of this. Like I just never did it for a purpose.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense. So then you come towards A-level. How's your A-level experience in general, being in Lyceum, and then what grades did you end up getting?
In Lyceum, it was like somewhat difficult for me because it was a very strict environment, and it was just mainly focused on academics.
Yeah.
I was, however, the head of the music society because I really enjoyed music.
That's cool.
So that was a little like experience. But I feel like Lyceum is too like academic.
Stringent with their academics. Yeah.
So it was a little tough to just manage both. In A-levels, my grades actually, a funny thing is that I got a C in art in
Oh, wow.
AS and A2.
Wow.
But I still did not want to give up. And before I was taking art in A-levels, a lot of people told me that, oh, you need to take another subject
Yeah.
because you will definitely drop.
Oh, so you did not?
No, I didn't.
So what are your other grades apart from arts?
So I got an A in psych
Okay.
and I got an A in business.
Oh, okay. And you
Yeah.
didn't drop arts after getting that C?
No.
Oh, wow. And then what did you end up getting in your A2? Was it?
C.
Oh, it was a C.
Yeah.
Okay. So that with that, what did make you so passionate about arts? Because you said initially that you were thinking about psychology and doing applications for psychology. So what made you go into art in specific? Because this is something which people know. If they know, they know.
Yeah.
If they want to get into arts, it's not like business that, I don't have any other options left.
Yeah.
I don't know what to study. I'll just go to business, right?
Yeah.
Arts is a bit different that way. So
Yeah.
what made you be like, I want to go to arts despite your grades or despite people telling you to go to psychology?
So I've always wanted to do art as a kid. Like I remember
Okay.
growing up, like I was always painting or coloring or doing something of
Yeah.
that sort. And when I actually wanted to take it in O levels, everyone was like, no, like this is not a career, like you can't do this professionally, because
Yeah.
no one in my family has ever
Done it.
done
Yeah,
art,
yeah.
right? I just had one cousin who did art, and she also did after a lot of persuasion from her family. But then I made my mom, I remember making my mom talk to my art teacher in Bayview, and she convinced her, like let her do it. And even though I got a C, I was not sad about the fact that I ended up with a C, because I explored my own self so much during that
Yeah.
portfolio that it was enough for me. Like
Yeah.
it did not matter. The first time I got to see an AS, I was really shocked, because there were other like people who actually didn't have those many elements that I had in my portfolio.
Yeah.
So my teachers were also shocked. That they were like why did you get a C?
Yeah.
And why did they get like a B or A? But I was sad, but I did not want to give up. Like I knew I want to do art, and then I did it in A2 as well, and I got a C, but I was fine with it.
Okay, so I mean, if you wouldn't mind, what are the reasons then you took a gap year, right, before you would now do your UL application? So your gap year was in the year of 2023,
Yeah.
which was last year, right? And then you did your UL applications during your gap year too. Can you run us through what you did your gap year? What applications did you do during
So
the year?
one of the main reasons I took a gap year was because I got rejected from UAL in 2023.
Okay.
So when I got rejected, I was like, I will not, like I just need time to process
Yeah.
this. And then stuff happened. I was going through a really like difficult
Yeah.
time of my life, whatever. But I actually then said, like everyone was like, oh, just take a gap year and go in Jan. Don't wait till the next year. Like don't wait till the
2024 Jan.
September entry.
Yeah.
So I came here to Danish Bhai, like I was given options for doing into, I was given like a lot of options
Yeah.
to start in Jan, but then I was like, no, like I'll stop, I'll take my time and I'll work on my portfolio even more,
Yeah.
and I'll apply to UL again. And I also applied to 5 other unis through UCAS, and I did UL directly,
Yeah.
just so, for example, I don't get into UL because it's very competitive. I'll go to any other art uni, but I will do art. I did not want to do psychology or whatever. So that's why I took a gap year. And then during my gap year, the main thing that I worked on was my portfolio. So I increased like the variety of mediums that I had. I increased the subject matter. I did a lot of that. And then I worked with kids, and I did
Yeah.
a lot of internships that I told you about previously.
So social service is important. It's important to have extracurriculars in your application. Like we touched upon in US, it's really important, but
Yes.
in UK, it's still an important factor. But the most important thing, which is very different for a person who wants to pursue arts, is your portfolio. So could you go a bit into detail for those people aspiring to go into arts, or maybe those people who already have offers from UAL? What goes into making a good portfolio?
Okay, so one thing that I would say is that here, like Empower really helped me
Yeah.
shape my portfolio in a way that I can present it nicely. What I did, I had a large body of work, but I did not know how to present it,
yeah.
right? So they really helped me in presenting my work. One tip that I would give is that you should explore all sorts of mediums.
Okay.
Mediums that you're not even comfortable working in, like even if you've made a piece, for example, I don't like watercolor, right?
Yeah.
But I've made a watercolor piece, I'm not happy with it, I would still include it and mention that I'm not comfortable with this piece, but just for the sake of experimentation of medium, I did this. So I think a lot of process work, you should focus on a lot of process work, just don't submit like a final piece.
Would you say it helps in just showing that you have depth in your work, variety?
Yeah, for sure. Like you have to show variety of mediums, you have to show that you have to show your thought process, then you have to show how you brought it onto paper, then you have to show how you ended up with the end result. If you just put end results of paintings, even if they're beautiful, realistic paintings, it's very difficult that you're going to get in, because I did that last year when I got rejected. Like I did not show any process work. And most of my work this year that I submitted is the same. But I just showed more process work, and I did a couple of new works, but some of them were the same. So you just need to show how your thought process is working. Like they need to see that. instead of just like final pieces.
In regards to this, Kulsum, who's a part of our team, did majority of your application as
Yes.
well, and she helped in your portfolio. Where specifically would you say that she helped in terms of your portfolio?
She really helped me, like I said, present my work in a very nice way.
Okay.
And then there were also like I did like a film sort of a work,
Okay.
and so she really so there was very difficult to make like a link on it because you can't upload more than like a certain amount of like so
Words,
so she really helped me do that. She was very like helpful in the process because art portfolio can be a very daunting, exhausting process as well. So she was there like all the way, like anytime, like she was available. So she really helped me present my work because I had a lot of work before I came here. I mostly like did 80% of my work was complete. I just wanted to like concise it together and present. So she really helped me do that.
Okay, that's great to hear. Okay, so I'll now come towards where you're about to go, which is in London, University of London. So you've been to London before, you've
Yes.
traveled there before. What would you say to those people who have a London infatuation? We get those people all the time who are like, we just want to go to London, we don't want to
Yeah.
see what university we're going, where we're going. We want that central lifestyle, which
Yeah.
we can only get in New York and London. So what would you say to those people that should they prioritize the city? Is it that important? Should they prioritize the university? What would you say about that?
I think there are two types of people. Some are just campus-based kids, and some are like, oh, we need the city life.
Yeah.
According to me, I think both of these things are incorrect. You should focus on the university,
Yeah.
whether that's in the,
correct.
I myself do not like campus life, but I did not choose UAL because it was in the city, like it's
Yeah.
right in London. I think the main aim of a student should be what uni you want to go into.
Yeah.
UL, as I mean, everyone knows,
Yeah,
is
of
very,
course.
very competitive.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go to UL because it was my dream uni since forever, like I wanted to do art. So I think people who are just hell-bent upon going to London should actually focus on what they're good at, what they want to do. They should focus more on the university instead of seeing, oh, is it in the city? I think that's secondary. It shouldn't be your primary source of concern.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, but most of the people who are doing arts programs would know this. University of London is top 30 university for arts in the world, probably more than top 30 according to the latest QS ranking. So it's a top tier uni to go in. And the thing is that a lot of people would just, say that we'll go to London for the heck of it because it's a good place to be. But it's a very good consideration to have in terms of the fact that you look at the uni.
Yeah.
It's very important to do that. And it's definitely a consideration should be on your priority list in number one. So I completely agree with that. So moving forward, what do you want to do with the arts degree? What is your mindset like? Right now, you probably took it out of passion and interest, but do you see yourself progressing in this as a career?
I do. So I always knew that I wanted to do something in art. I just did not know what to do.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons why I also did foundation instead of first year
Okay,
entry, because I wanted to explore all my options in the first 7-8 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. And then I wanted to choose like a specialist pathway. So I'm sure about my decision.
Yeah.
Because here in Karachi, we don't have a lot of diversity in studying art. O and A levels is just fixed upon painting, drawing. There's no sculpture, there's no sort of 3D art, there's nothing that is giving us an idea on what we can do. UL offers you more than 100 undergrad courses. So instead of choosing one and then regretting my decision later, I wanted to explore everything and then see where life takes me.
So in the future, do you see yourself maybe staying in London, coming back to Pakistan?
No, I would want to come back, and then so I don't want to do something that is very common here. So for example, fashion. I want to do a degree that is sort of like a specialist degree. So you have to study it in order to become that. For example, if you take architecture, you can't just be an architect. You need a degree. So I want to do something that I can open up here, even if it's new. I want stuff
something
to happen.
Which is probably niche and not
not very common.
Not very common. You'll probably get a lot of that over here because, like you said, there's not a lot of scopes for the different type of arts over here. There's just the basic
and
type
you
of
don't
arts.
no one teaches other than painting, drawing, maybe just photography, because you have to do photography.
Is that something you'd want to do, educate people when you come
maybe
back
that,
over the type of arts?
Maybe open an institute where I can actually teach kids on the other the other courses that we have in art instead of just sticking to painting, drawing.
Oh. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. So how would you rate your overall experience with Empower now that you're going in August?
Oh, it was great. They helped me a lot. Probably a 10 out of 10, because they helped me right now also. When I got my offer, they are filling in everything. I don't have to worry about even accepting my offer. They do everything for you. Even if you have to give IELTS, they will just do everything themselves. So it's very convenient and very nice.
So in the end, I think the biggest lesson is that you should always prioritize your university.
Yes.
You should have your priorities set in terms
And
of
just find your passion. I think you need to know what you're passionate about.
Yeah. So what would you say to those people though? Because there's a lot of people, because you brought that up, who are not sure what their passion is. And on the basis of that, they're like, you know what, I don't know what I want to do, so मैं London ही चले जाता हूँ.
That's not okay. I think find your passion first, and that even if it requires you to take a gap year, take a gap year. A gap year is not you losing out on anything. It will actually benefit you. It actually benefited me in actually, deciding what I want to do. Like, I always knew I wanted to do art, but it actually benefited me in making a portfolio and getting in the same uni that rejected me a year ago. So gap years are not a bad thing. It's completely normal to take a gap year. So if you deciding your passion requires you to take a gap year, do it. But you should know what you're passionate about and then do a degree that you actually want to do. Do not ever do something that you don't want to do.
So what about those people who don't have clarity, but their parents are like, nahi yaar, bahar chale jao. So they just take advantage of that. They're like, yeah, we'll go to Boston, New York, London, figure out.
I don't think you should do that.
No, that's generally the right way to go about it. You shouldn't do that. It's just something I'm saying in a sarcastic way.
I mean, a lot of kids do that though.
A lot of kids do that. But a lot of the kids who do that, Vareesha, do it because they're just taking advantage of the fact that their parents are like
sending them abroad for exposure. And I also don't think it's very necessary to go abroad in general. If you don't have any passion, why are you going abroad? Like either you get either you're passionate about something, you get into a good uni and you study, makes sense. But if you're just going for the sake of going, there's no point.
The common answer between students, which they probably won't disclose with their parents, is just to have fun.
Yeah, that's not okay.
It's definitely not okay. But anyways, thank you so much, Vareesha.
You're welcome.
We had an amazing conversation and best of luck for your foundation in UL. I wish you all the best. And hopefully people listening to this will actually learn the importance of doing extracurriculars as well as having a good portfolio if you want to pursue arts, and hopefully it can be one of you who can empower themselves to go abroad, just to not only UK but maybe even for a top tier arts degree like Vareesha. So thank you all so much once again for listening, and I'll see you next week for another segment of Empowered Abroad. Take care, Allah Hafiz.